Good morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge. DeadPresPicks, joined by my man Krabs Bets. A lot to get into, guys. A loaded Wednesday slate. The NBA is finally back after a week off for the All-Star break. XFL, some Thursday night football, which we're going to dive into, and then of course we have our college basketball, which has stayed with us every day over the last week, and the new fun segment that everyone loves, the trivia question. It's a good one today. Krabs, first of all, how you doing, man?
Doing well. 1-4 yesterday on my card. Not too great, but you know what? The best part about gambling, Matt,
we do today.
We get to come back today and we get to strike again.
Okay? Sure. Yep. Big slate today. If you want to have a bad day, it's a day like yesterday because you get a bunch of bets. You get a bunch of bets today. Obviously, like I said, a couple leagues back in play in the NBA. We're going to touch on the XFL as well. There's an early basketball game, 12 o'clock game that we're going to dive into as well. So don't miss that. A lot to go for this episode. But let's start with the Wednesday betting recap. Krabs, you were off yesterday on the show, so just a couple bets to clean up on UConn money line and Clemson -2. So there it is, the ladder to get us to day 6. UConn, not a whole lot to say here. I mean, they were both pretty much blowouts. The UConn game did tighten up a little in the second half. Providence made a quick run, got it back to 2. But UConn had a lot of answers in that game. Hawkins was outstanding. He came up big every time they needed a shot. They shot the ball well from 3. Kind of like I thought, Providence offensively, they weren't going to have enough firepower. UConn's a really solid defensive team. Again, a lot of people associate them with the offense, right? A lot of people, I think, don't realize how good of a defensive team this is. Big Hurley fan. Think he's a very solid coach. So good game there. Good win for UConn. Clemson, that was a beatdown. I had a lot of people, Krabs, telling me it was a Syracuse play. Never a Syracuse play. I think they covered – I think the only time they were covering was when it was 0-0 and 2-0. So tough game for Syracuse, bettors, fans, whatever you are. But the Clemson Tigers did take us home. Shout out to Clemson. Yeah. They've struggled a little bit at times here, but they are now 3-0 on ladder picks. So both of these teams actually now 3-0.
Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to both. And then I'll take credit for Ben's bet because I did play Kentucky with them. Kentucky there -2.5. That spread got a little dicey at the end. Honestly, I wanted to go Florida. Florida was the sharp side. Kentucky could not have been more square. I think it was like 90% of bets are on Kentucky or something absolutely absurd. The Gators, though, it would seem back and forth, right? They went on a big run to close the half. After that, I was like, all right, I think they're going to win this game. No Castleton in the game. The line said Florida, but Kentucky came through with it. So there it was. Sometimes it happens, Krabs. Sometimes the square side gets it done.
That is true. Good hit on that one. I was on Florida, so still reeling in Gator piss, but we're recovering. We'll be okay.
All right. Let's get to it. Like I said, guys, a lot to get into. The NBA is back, so let's get into it. We had to wait a week. Big NBA guy here, Krabs. So this is like Christmas morning for me, getting it back. A lot of good games tonight. We got my Sixers in action against the Grizz. That'll be on TNT. I believe the Warriors-Lakers, also a TNT game. Some other really good games to look at tonight. Nuggets-Cavs. That's going to be a fun one. Nuggets obviously had the best first half in the Western Conference. But let's first dive into some futures. So here are the current NBA title odds. This is via DraftKings. The Celtics stay as the favorite at +275, and the Suns at 425. So those are the two favorites out of their respective conferences. Anything stick out on this board to you, Krabs?
I like my Clippers. I went with them preseason. I've been rooting for them all year. I'm a Wizards fan, but they really have no future, so I've been kind of rooting for the Clippers. And I like some of the pieces they acquired before the deadline here. So I like my Clippers. I got them at +700 before the season. If they can get Kawhi and Paul George to maybe go out there and play some games together, and that would be cool since they're on the basketball team together. I don't know why they don't really play, but if these guys can all come together and actually be healthy for the playoffs, who knows? I mean, they have an extremely talented roster.
Yeah, you read my mind there. I also took a Clippers future preseason, but no, I like what they did at the deadline. I thought they added a few really good pieces to that roster. Bones Highland was a guy in Denver. I didn't understand why they wanted to trade him so bad. He's a guy who comes off the
beast.
Yeah, I mean, he gives you a lot of life, just a lot of energy. I like the way he plays. Norm Powell, a guy who's going to, 6 man of the year type of guy off that bench. I don't think there's a deeper team in the NBA than the Clippers. The Russ move obviously gets a lot of hate, but I kind of liked it, to be honest. I think if you can bring Russ off the bench, let him play his role. I mean, he doesn't overstep. He's not going to come in and take over the team, right? That's not what they're asking him to do. They're just asking him to come in, play some good minutes off the bench. I also want to point out, a month ago, Krabs, Russell Westbrook was the favorite to win Sixth Man of the Year. So there was a time where he was having a pretty good year, honestly, at least from a betting standpoint. Like the books had made him the odds-on favorite. So that's a bet that I like as well. I'm going to throw out here this one too, plus 1,600. All right. So on the Mavs, I think the value here is there just because you have two of the best guards in basketball. You can argue when healthy, two of the top 10 players in the league. I think when Kyrie's healthy and when he's playing, he's a top 10 player in basketball. That's my opinion. Obviously, the question with him is, the stuff that happens off the court, and sometimes he's sitting out. We know Kyrie, right? We know what he can do at times, but the value is certainly there on Dallas. As good as Doncic and Kyrie are, they can take over and win any game. And defensively, if they can step up, if they can play, I think the value, from a value standpoint, the Mavs hold a lot. The one team I will promise you will not win is the Denver Nuggets at plus 750. And I took them. My biggest feature of the season is their win team total over, which I believe is 47.5. They're going to clear that in a couple weeks. That's going to hit with ease, but that's what they are to me. They're a regular season team. I don't think in the playoffs that they're going to have enough firepower to win this. So I don't think the Nuggets should be the second favorite out of the West. I think in order it should go the Suns, Clippers, and then the Mavs. The Suns, though, Krabs, any value you think still betting that number, or you think the value's all gone on
them? No value. I would never take a future on it that's below really plus 1,000. In my opinion, it's a future. It's a lottery ticket. In a sense. So I really never really believe in taking plus 275 futures when the season's halfway done. A lot could happen. A lot of bad stuff could happen. Injuries, trades, whatever. People. A lot of stuff. So I think there's no value on those teams at all. I don't think you even look at any of these teams until at least the Clippers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, quick question. So you think the Mavericks are better value at 16-1 over the Warriors, who have done it at 17-1?
I do. I'm calling the Warriors dead. Here's the thing with the Warriors. Until Curry returns, I think they'll make the play-in. But I think if they lose tonight and someone wins, I think they're back out. They're not even in the play-in. I think they'll get into the play-in tournament. No, I'm just not feeling it this year with the Warriors. I don't know why. I'm deeming them dead. I think the Mavs. Someone just said Kyrie and Luka haven't won a game together. How many games have they played together? 2 or 3. I think you got to give them some time to mesh. I do think that there's outstanding value on the Mavs, and it's so hard to repeat. The Warriors don't repeat. Now, we do have a lot of Boston love in the comments. Yeah, Boston's best team in basketball, but if you take a future of plus 275, I don't even know if that's allowed, but if you do it, not very smart in my opinion. I don't think there's much value there. And of course, there's value on my Sixers, or at least take Philly to make the finals. They'll probably break my heart and lose in the finals, but yeah, that is where we're at with the futures. Someone did ask about that Cavs game tonight. I like Cleveland in that game. I don't know if you've looked at that one, Krabs. Do like Cleveland in that spot. We'll get to that one though later down the road, and we will address some NBA questions as we go on. But we are going to move on to our next segment. Just keeping up with the comments here. We are going to move on though to our next segment is this trivia time, Nigel?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, hold on. This is my favorite part, so I can tweet it out.
Everyone's gonna get pissed at us again. This is the best part of the show.
This is the best part of the show. Give me 3 seconds. All right. So what this is just a simple trivia question, and how you win is you gotta be the first one to comment, right? Now we pick who's the first to comment. It's whoever just shows up. There's also YouTube comments. So our producer Nigel, who you guys hear on the show. He will monitor YouTube. So there's a chance a YouTube comment beats you. The winner of this gets a week of My OC Premium. So that's full VIP picks from all of our handicappers. So here we go. I'm going to give people one second to shuffle in. But who holds the NBA record for most free throws missed in a game? All right. Someone said Shaq. That's incorrect.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Giannis, no. Shaq, no.
You thought Shaq, bro. First guess. Yeah.
I said Shaq. Shaq's a good guess. Look at all these Shaqs. Wilt, no. Well, Nigel, we got a winner.
We do.
You got one.
Sam Imbram. Man, I don't know how. I apologize for butchering that last name, but he said Andre Drummond is the answer. Correct, Sam. You win. Look at that.
Let's go.
He missed 23 free throws in a game.
That is nuts.
It's insane. That's like. I mean, that is that. Obviously, it's a record. That's absurd. So he went.
Don't even get me started with the whole free throws thing, man. I think it's ridiculous. These guys can't hit free throws.
It is.
How do you not spend 30 minutes after practice every day?
Yeah, 13
for a month if you're getting paid $15 million a year to figure out how to shoot a free throw. I can shoot a free throw. You're telling me an NBA player can't? I wouldn't
go 13 for 36. I promise that.
No, I would put up at least 15.
Yeah, I think I could. I think I can get 15 in there. That is crazy. Sure. 13. So it's in Berman. All right, I think that. Tell me if that's how you pronounce your last name, Sam. But Sam, DM me to claim the week of the VIP. Great question. That was all Nigel, the producer of the show. He came up with this one. That's a tough one. I'm telling you, that's one that I consider myself very good at trivia, Krabs. This one, I was shook. I said Shaq. I was a casual, like a lot of other people.
This one threw you for a loop. I could tell. It really got to you.
It confused me. It really did. This one, I was not excited about this one because I didn't know the answer. But shout out to Sam. He did. So Andre Drummond, most missed free throws in a game. That's tough. But someone wins. Someone wins the OC Premium. So shoot us a DM, Sam, to claim. All right, let's move it along. We got some XFL tonight, Krabs. So
let's go.
Thursday Night Football. I'm deeming this Thursday Night Football. And I'm going to say it. There were NFL games that were worse than what you're going to see tonight. The Colts played on Thursday night like every week. Remember that Colts-Broncos game?
The Broncos, yeah. The first month of the season, the Broncos were playing like every
worst game ever.
Yeah, I mean, so here we go. So this is what I'm saying. That this game is not. I promise you that this game will not be worse than the Colts-Broncos game. I don't care what the game could end 2-0. It won't be worse. So we get the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Seattle Sea Dragons. Great team names. We're gonna start with that.
Yeah.
Sea Dragons, badass name, right? Battlehawks. I call myself preseason as a Roughnecks fan, but the Battlehawks came back last game. You know what happened, Krabs. They were down 10 or 12 or something. Mm-hmm. They came back. They won for us on Sunday. So now I am somewhat of a Battlehawks fan for that. Sea Dragons, though, you remember Ben DiNucci, Cowboys legend?
Oh, yeah.
He fumbled. It was against your defenders. You watched the game, right? Fumbles the ball on the one.
Oh, I was watching it, bro. I was going bonkers.
Yeah. Got us fired up. So that's how they won. So Seattle should have, in my opinion, Seattle should be 1-0. St. Louis should be 0-1. Maybe that's why we see the line where it is, 3.5. So Seattle had a tough loss. St. Louis kind of had a lucky win. I know not everybody watches the XFL. Now, if you don't, again, it's time to.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you got to take a look in the mirror. It's time to, just watch some XFL. It's football, right? But the Battlehawks are led by college football legend A.J. McCarron. So, a couple championships at Alabama. He was in the NFL for a little bit. Backed up Cincinnati, I think, Atlanta maybe. So, he was around. And then Seattle is led by Cowboys legend Ben DiNucci. So those are the quarterbacks for this game. One other guy that, if you're an NFL fan, that you will absolutely Seattle wide receiver Josh Gordon. He was. Did he win? I think 1 year he had the most yards in the NFL, right, receiving. So he had some huge years in Cleveland. We know he just couldn't stay in the league for some off the field issues. But no matter what, here's the game tonight. Krabs, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was really impressed with A.J. McCarron in that comeback. He made some crazy throws, some NFL-type throws. I'm shocked to see them getting 3.5 points here when the Dragons absolutely melted against my defenders the other night and played like crap in the second half and did not look like a good team, to be honest with you. I'm a little confused. I can't tell if I should take an angle at this game like I do with NFL games and bet lines and not teams and take, the Dragons because they're laying 3.5 when they probably shouldn't be. Or is this more like a sport like when I bet lacrosse where, they got the C team guys setting the lines, and they're not traps. They're just setting them there. They're just not good lines. And then we can actually use our brains and find value here and then take the Battle Hawk. So it's a new league, still figuring it out on the fly. I might have to sit this one out, but I think we'll learn a lot about betting this league tonight from this game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So week 1, I did bet 3 games, as we know. Did go 3-0, so there we go. A little humble brag in the XFL, still undefeated. But as you said, Krabs, this line is weird. So from a betting standpoint, we got to understand that 3.5 minus 3.5. This is a Dragons line, right? Like guys like us, we would look at it and we're say, all right, we got to trust the line. I'm going to do that here. So I think it's the Dragons tonight. I will say with spread bets in this league, it's really hard because if you're new to this league, it's not like the conventional you score a touchdown and you kick an extra point, or you obviously can go for 2. The rules are very different. So you can go for 1 from the 2-yard line, but it's like your offense stays out, no kickers. You go for 2 from the 5-yard line, and then you can go for 3 from the 10. So like if you bet a spread, there's like you are never safe. If you
because you could get a touchdown. You could get a touchdown and not convert anything, and then you get a field goal. You're up 9, and then it's still a 1-possession game. So that's like when in the NFL, a touchdown and a field goal is 2-possession game. The XFL, it's 1-possession game. So weird. I like it though. It's different. It's fun. It's not. We can't take it as seriously, but we can't be deploying infinity units on these games, but responsibly betting a unit or 2 on these, you don't get no problem.
You don't get too insane on it. But I will say, someone did ask what book you can bet XFL on. I bet it on DraftKings. I believe it's also on FanDuel. So
it's on a couple of the big ones.
Yeah, I think they're going to carry them. And look, the other cool thing about the XFL, if you haven't watched it yet, they love gambling. So the announcers all game, they continue to say what the spread is, the over-under. They're very, in tune with what's going on. So definitely keep an eye out. 9 o'clock tonight, the game is on FX, and it's also on ESPN+. So if you have ESPN+, keep an eye out for that. So you could do either one. But, yes, I'm going to be backing – I believe I will back Seattle tonight. I will have an article out on this later. But, yeah, fired up for this one. Big-time game. And also I just want to point out one other rule for people who haven't watched it yet. You can keep the ball, right? So at the end of the game, if you're losing, instead of going for 2 or onside kick, you can onside kick, but you can also go for it on 4th and 15.
4th and 15, yeah.
You're at 25. It's insane.
Crazy rule.
Yeah, so like
that's what McCarron did. It worked. It worked in week 1.
That's how Seattle won. Yeah, he got out of the pocket, hit it that deep. So
crazy.
That's how the XFL works. So just if you're watching the game, like your team, just know you are never safe betting, and you are never out of it. That's why it is. And okay, so the XFL is only available, someone said, in certain states. I did not know that. You can kick field goals. Yes, there is kickers, but you cannot kick extra points. Just to reiterate that. I don't know if you're a kicker, Krabs, if the XFL is where you want to go. I don't think that's like your next journey.
No, a lot of going for it. No extra points.
Yeah,
it's not a kicker's paradise for sure. But hey, I saw them making some good kicks. I was impressed. They were making some nice kicks. No Justin Tucker type kicks, but hey, that league looks more legitimate than I expected. I've been impressed.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's football, right? And it's something else we can gamble on during a basketball season. The month of February always drags along. This is just going to make you go quicker. NFL, it's going to be back. It's going to be August soon. We're going to have college football back. Everything's going to get back to normal. But until then, it's time to lock in on the XFL. Make sure you check it out tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We will be covering it all season long. All right, let's shift gears to our favorite sport this time of year, college basketball. So lots to get into, Krabs. A lot of big games tonight. We're going to start, though, with the top 25 board. We don't have to hit on all these, but I do want to start with this Northwestern Illinois game. I'd like your thoughts on this. What are you thinking about that game?
My thoughts on this one. I like Illinois at home with you. I'm assuming you're on that side.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what's going on with the spreads. Look, I'm not nuking Illinois here. I've been very hesitant to fade Northwestern this year, to be honest with you, because although this is a spot, definitely a contrarian spot here to take this weirdly, fat line for Illinois. Northwestern doesn't really care what's sharp and what's not. They're almost like Providence of last year, where they keep winning and they don't really care what is sharp and who's betting what. So, I'm definitely on Illinois here. I like the move from 5 to, and we're seeing some 6s around. Seeing some 6s lying around at this point. So that's a good sign for Illinois as well. I'll definitely be on them today, but just know what you're getting into, Chad, if you're tailing. Northwestern seems to not care at times what's sharp and what's not. But give me Illinois at home.
I agree with you there. Northwestern has stolen some money from me. I'll be transparent about that. The thing with Northwestern that I've been so impressed with is their road record, especially in the Big Ten. I mean, this is a deep conference. They've been really good away from home, and that'll show up in March, I think. So I think Northwestern's a team to keep an eye out. Honestly, once March Madness comes around, their two best players, which I love, is the guard play. You have two seniors. Bubo really leads the team, right? They have guys that have experience, can shoot the basketball. I like Northwestern a lot as a team. With all that said, this is an Illinois play, right? All the way. The line being 5.5, 6 some places now. It's as simple as it is. Now, you also mentioned how good Northwestern's been on the road. Illinois has been really good at home too. Just 2 losses all season, in their own building. So I like Illinois a lot as a team coming into the year. I thought they were going to be a top tier team, honestly, in the Big Ten. I thought this was going to be a team that made some moves. I liked what they did in the portal. Terrence Shannon Jr. obviously landing him. You bought in Matthew Meyer from Baylor. They have a lot of talent, right? Like from a talent standpoint, you could shave up. Illinois can stack up with the best of them, but Northwestern, like you said, Krabs, doesn't matter. They don't care right now what's sharp.
They don't care what's sharp and what's not.
Yeah, they're going out there and they're just playing. They're just playing their game. So Northwestern for sure has been a juggernaut as of late, but I do think tonight is the spot that they regress a little bit. I do want to congratulate them. Also, they're finally ranked. Every week I look at the rankings, I'm like, where's Northwestern? They should have been in the
This is when they'll lose now that they finally ranked. This is when they lose.
You spook them. You put a number next to them, and it scares them a little bit, shakes them up. So I do think that it is an Illinois play here all the way. All right, going to go to another game that I want to talk about. UCLA and Utah. Krabs, thoughts on this? 7.5 for UCLA?
I love Utah.
Me too.
Absolutely love Utah on this spot. It's another one of those system plays that I really like where it's a home team with a winning records getting between 1 and 10 points at home against a ranked team. Those spots have been absolutely printing. So we have another one here with Utah having a winning record, playing a ranked team, getting between 1 and 10 points here, getting 7.5. I love the spots. It's an automatic bet for me, but I've been waiting to fade UCLA for weeks. Just haven't really found the opportunity, and they're on an absolute bender right now. Crazy win streak. You look over at Utah, they've lost their last 2 games to Arizona and Arizona State. Probably should have won that second one. Didn't pull it out, though. Ended up losing by 8. Brutal. So these guys already played. UCLA spanked them last month. Now we turn around and only a 7.5 line. Thought that'd be at least double digits there, huh?
You think so? I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Utah, they didn't only spank them, Krabs. I think Utah scored like 45 points in the game, 47, something like that. They didn't even get to the half-century mark in a full college basketball game. That's pretty embarrassing. So, yeah, Utah should play with a chip on their shoulder. They still have a chance, right, to get that large. They're still seen as a bubble team. They need to go out there tonight and play somewhat desperate. You mentioned a couple bad losses that probably bump them out. If they're able to win a game like this over UCLA, that could be a season-changing win. Utah's a pretty talented team, right? I mean, the Pac-12 is I think the Pac-12 is the worst power conference, in college basketball. You can debate in college football too, but at least in college basketball right now, they have a pretty weak, it's very top-heavy. You have Arizona, UCLA, and then you just fall off a cliff. I mean, it seemed like USC, they have some guys, obviously, they have some talent. That's a game I think we're going to get into later, but UCLA is by far the best team in the conference. I have UCLA as my number 1 team in the nation, but I am fading them tonight. 7.5, it's a lot of points. Utah, they've been really good at home this season. They've played their best basketball. They've really struggled away from home, but they've been somewhat automatic at home this season. So I'm going to back Utah. I think 7.5, a tick too many in a game that I could see being a little bit of a rock fight, low-scoring game. That's fine when you are getting 7.5 points, right? I mean, if you don't see a whole lot of pace here, that's not going to kill us. Any thoughts on these last 2 games, Krabs? Some big spreads tonight. Pacific, St. Mary's, and then we get San Diego taking on Gonzaga.
Don't love either of these spots. St. Mary's is really good, and they have gotten back on track relatively, but they haven't really been covering much. So I'm not really in a position to be fading them. Pacific, one of the most disappointing teams in this conference all season. I thought they were going to be decent, at least be over 500 here. They were sharp all the beginning of the year and didn't cover at all. So I've kind of kept them away from me. Going to keep doing that again tonight. And then Gonzaga, I mean, my goodness, they've been on a little bit of a bender here. A little revenge tour, taking out some teams that were playing some close games against some Loyola Marymount. They beat them 108-55 2 games ago, and then they put up a 97 against Pepperdine in their last game. So looks like Gonzaga's kind of back. San Diego got off to a decent start at the beginning of the season, but they're playing like San Diego right now, not too good. I'm not going anywhere near it. Line opened up around 20. It's up to 23-ish now, so I'm good on that. Gonzaga probably rolls. Maybe Gonzaga first half, they come out hot, and then, don't have to worry about the bench guys going in. I don't hate that look.
I don't hate that either. I do like maybe like a team total. Gonzaga just, fills it up. I don't know. It's probably high 80s, my guess. Thing with Gonzaga too, Krabs, I think a lot of people got on their case early in the year. They're just not as good as they've been the last few years. It doesn't mean they're not still like a really good team, right? I think Gonzaga's typically they're overrated. This year, they're kind of flying under the radar. Maybe that takes some pressure off come March. All right. Here we go. 12 o'clock game, Krabs. I did want to tweet this out real quick. I think you had an angle you liked. I don't know if it's an official play. If it was just
I do.
All right. So you take
I got to lean. Yeah. We got North Dakota at home laying 3.5 against Western Illinois. Western Illinois sitting at 15-12. North Dakota 11-18. Brutal. But North Dakota's minus 3.5 here in the spot. A little weird considering these guys played a couple weeks ago and Western Illinois beat them by, more than 10 points in that first one when they were laying 6.5 in that game. And now you turn around thinking they're going to be, at least a favorite after winning that game as minus 6.5 favorites in that first one, taking care of business. They were at least going to be a favorite in the spot. Now North Dakota is laying 3.5 here, not just a favorite. But if you look at what they've been doing, they're taking care of business. They've won 4 of 5. They've covered 4 of 5. They've got a couple outright wins as well to South Dakota and UMKC. So they're playing their best basketball of the season, although they're 11-18. They're usually a better program than that. And then you look over at Western Illinois, who got off to a nice little hot start at the beginning of the year. They've lost 4 of 5, and they've only covered 3 of their last 5, including a bad loss to the St. Thomas Tommies in their last game. So I like the spot for North Dakota here. I like laying the points. If you're looking for some day game action, you got about 1 minute to lock it in.
And nothing like a buzzer beater. All right, I like that. I'm gonna be in on it with you. I am also riding North Dakota. So early action in college basketball. That game literally tips, like Krabs said, in a minute. If you have ESPN Plus, you can watch the whole game. So if not, follow it. Keep an eye on it. It's gonna win. You don't have to watch it just if you're bored and want to check out some hoops. All right, let's turn to our final segment of the night. Or of the day. It's the morning. We have 2 of our best bets. I will have a ladder announcement on this one as well. But Krabs, you're going to kick us off with your best bet. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking to take Colorado tonight at home. They're laying, what are they laying now? 2.5, but, against a really decent USC team here who's 19-8. Colorado has really been struggling this season, but at home, they're 11-2. But they're 15-13 overall, Matt. So you do the math on that. They're a completely different team on the road than they are at home, right? Yes. And that's been a thing for years for the Buffs, to be honest with you. And look, I'm not saying they're anything special, but I don't expect this trend to really end anytime soon. And a USC team that has not been great on the road this year, it's like a perfect matchup here. USC's been good, but on the road, they're only 3-5. So I like the Buffs here as a favorite against a way better team, a team higher ranked in the KenPom. Typically would be the favorite even if on the road here. But, the lines, the odds makers, they're seeing something, their math, their algorithms, their smart brains are saying the Buffs have the edge in this one. And, the public eye might like USC or want to take the Trojans because that looks like you're getting the better team at a discounted price. I'll tell you right now, if that's how you think in the betting world, you're going to be a losing better, plain and simple. So we're going to take the Buffs. And we're going to roll with this nasty line. It is what it is. I'm not happy about it, but we got to play it. All right?
You got to do it. Sometimes you got to do it, right? I mean, even if you're not happy about it, as we know, you bet lines, Krabs, not teams. So all in there. All right. quickly, I do have to make my ladder announcement. So for all of you watching, I am not doing a ladder bet today. We are going to take this thing into Friday. First night of the NBA, right? I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. There's too many questions. What were these guys doing, Krabs, on their break? I don't know if they're going to come out focused.
Probably a lot of drinking and smoking.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
College basketball, not the best college basketball slate. We're not forcing this thing. And you know what's nice? After a winning day, sometimes it's nice to just take a step back, right? Take a breath, kind of regain, and then move on.
You got to let the ladder come to you, Matt. You can't rush it. That's how you lose. You let the ladder come to you, and you see the winner, right in front of your eyes.
Yes. So
yeah.
I agree. So if you're upset about having to wait a day for the ladder, again, it's time. It's like the people who don't watch the XFL. Time to look in the mirror, right? I mean, it's time to Krabs would say grow up a little bit. So no ladder pick today. We will have one either tomorrow or Saturday, whatever. Let the betting slate come to us. We're on day 6. We're almost home, guys. So no reason.
Let's go.
No reason to rush this. If we rush this thing, we're gonna end up losing it, right? That's not the goal.
Yep.
The goal is to win it. It's not to rush it and lose it. So if you're upset about that, again, I can't help you. We'll win it eventually. All right. But I do have a bet, and I still have the best bet of the night. So it's not like I'm not giving you guys something here. We are going to go to the association. I'm going to look at a game between the Denver Nuggets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs come into this game feeling pretty good about their first half of the season. Denver, meanwhile, the best first half in the Western Conference. They're the number 1 seed right now. I think they're going to end up as the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. They have a nice little cushion out there in the Western Conference. But this is a really good spot for the Cavs tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. I think Cleveland matches up pretty well here against Denver. They have 2 bigs that they can show at Jokic. You're never going to stop Jokic, right? He's just too good to stop. But I think they can somewhat limit his game tonight. You got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Allen in particular, one of the best defensive centers in basketball. They're both healthy. They're both going to go tonight. And on the flip side of things, Cleveland, one of the best home teams in the NBA. Denver, as dominant as they were this season, even though they're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, they are 500 on the road. They have not played very well. They've been a completely different team when they're not in that high altitude in Denver. So very average road team facing a red-hot home team, a team who typically does not lose in their own building. With matchup advantages, this is a no-brainer for me. So I'm going to back Cleveland tonight. Also going to presume a lot of public money is going to come in on Denver. Everyone knows number 1 seed's a dog tonight. Yeah, well, that's probably for a reason. So I'm going to back the Cavs on the money line. You can get it at minus 135 right now. This is on BetMGM. I think the number's somewhat around, it's around here no matter where you look. I think DraftKings had like minus 140. If you can find it under this, obviously go with it. But this was the best line that I saw this morning. So we are going to back the Cleveland Cavaliers on the money line tonight, minus 135. I believe this game is 7 o'clock Eastern time. So keep an eye out. That's the game. That's the game of the night, Krabs. That's the big NBA game.
I like that play, man. You said it perfectly. The number 1 seed's an underdog.
Yeah.
You no need to think twice.
Yeah.
You lock in the favorite. Boom.
I agree. Yeah, I mean they're a betting favorite, right? But I think publicly they're going to be a dog. I do like that. NBA, I will say this: don't go too crazy tonight. It is the first night back. I know we're going to all get excited, but like me and Krabs are saying, these guys just had a week off. Yeah, they might have. And you know what? They should. They enjoy it, right? But probably, yes. The Nuggets do have Jamal back. No Aaron Gordon tonight. Typically, people might not think that's a big thing, but Gordon number 3 on the team in scoring, and Gordon one of the best defensive forwards in the NBA. So keep an eye out for that. Sorry, just tuned in. Yes, there is no ladder pick today for those who are just tuning in. This is not a ladder. Remember the ladder, we got to get somewhat at even money, so you can't really play minus 135 in a ladder, Krabs. It's just not allowed. It's the rules.
Yeah, it doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply. It's not how it is. But all right, that's gonna take us up minus 132. Somebody said on Barstool, so keep an eye out for that. Krabs is going to the Pac-12. Got Colorado tonight minus 2.5. I'm going to the NBA. I got the Cavs money line minus 135. These bets will both smack. Pretty confident in that, Krabs. What do you think?
If you guys are feeling a little frisky, maybe put them in a little toothpaste responsibly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Throw a little toothpaste in. No doubt about that. All right. Tomorrow, before we get out of here, we do have an announcement. Krabs, me and you are going to be back on the show, as far as I know. And then we're going to have a big-time guest. So we're going to have Calling Our Shot coming on tomorrow. Austin.
Let's go.
Seeing his work. one of the original guys of the ladder. He built up a big couple big runs on the ladder. Does some great work in the NBA. He will be on our show tomorrow at morning, same time, 11:30. What we're going to be doing, if you're a first-time listener, we are going to be doing a Thunderdome, which means I get 3 picks, Krab gets 3 picks, and Austin will get 3 picks. So all of us get 3 picks. Whoever comes out alive is the winner. Melissa will be on the show as well, so maybe she'll drop a hockey pick. Krabs, you better get in the lab. It's going to be a tough day tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's all picks for the weekend too, right?
Yep.
It's not just for tomorrow, right? Okay.
No.
I'm coming for that crown, so you better watch it. You better protect it. Keep it safe.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
you're not gonna have it for long.
That's what I'm saying. I have 4 rings, right? So I'm looking to get fit for my full hand. Melissa took it last week, so who knows? That was her first time win. Krabs looking for his first win, but excited to get.
I'm due.
Yeah, exactly. You've never won yet, so yeah, of course, yeah. Krabs is due for this, but excited to have calling our shot on tomorrow. Should be a fun episode. All right, guys, we will be back same time tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. I appreciate everybody who stuck with us this whole time. If you're just joining, make sure you can go back, go forward, scroll this thing all day if you want. But you can catch the full episode on Twitter and also on our YouTube at OddsChecker US. Hope everybody has a great day. Let's have a day, guys.
Yep.